Okay, so thank you for waiting, guys. So as what I'm saying a while back, I'll be posting another video presentation, recorded video presentation, about our lesson for today's meeting. So um, the continuation, this will be focused on the continuation of the discussion of our mean as measure of central, as one tool, or in the measures of central tendency, or simply finding average value or average data from a given measurement. Okay, so in my second video presentation, which was presented to you a while back, it talks about how to find the mean using the weighted arithmetic mean. Okay, so for this lesson, or for this video tutorial, or for this video discussion, this will concentrate on group data, particularly finding the mean of group data. So how do we find? The problem is, how do we find mean if the data will be grouped or is grouped? So there are two possible ways. Actually, there are two possible ways in finding the mean for group data. And the first formula that we can use is this, what we call Classmark formula. So how is this Classmark formula? So Classmark formula is defined as the a summation of f x sub m, or the summation of the products, or of the product of f and the x sub m, where f is the frequency and x sub m is the Classmark, for divided by or all over capital letter N, which is equal to, or which is the total number of frequency. So if you have divided the sum of the products of the frequency and the Classmark by the total number of frequency, that will now be the value of our mean for that particular group data. Now we have an alternative formula if you don't prefer, or if you don't know, or if you are not familiar with the Classmark. We have another formula to be used. However, this is more complicated as compared to the Classmark formula, and this is called the coded deviation formula. So in this coded deviation formula, it is given by x sub am plus summation of fd over n multiplied by your I, where x sub am is the assumed mean, okay, and f is still the frequency, d is the coded deviation, which is the most important thing in this formula, kasi that's why they called it as coded deviation formula, since we are constructing deviations among the frequencies. And total number of frequency, that is still referring to n, and class size to be a small letter I. So to be able for us, going back to the Classmark formula, to be able for us to use the Classmark formula, we need to follow these two steps in using the Classmark formula. First is to construct the column for the Classmark. I hope you can still remember how to construct column for Classmark. The Classmark is the midpoint of the intervals. Okay, the midpoint is found out by getting 1/2 of the sum of the lower and upper limits. So alam nyo na yan. We have already discussed it when we talk about the process of constructing frequency distribution table. And the second step is to multiply the Classmark by its corresponding frequency. That's why we are multiplying frequency and Classmark. So ang ginagawa dyan is we will come up with another column in our statistical table showing the products of the frequency and the Classmark. Then after which we will sum up all these products, and that will refer to the summation of fx sub m. Divide it by the total number of frequency. Makikita nyo yan if you sum up all the frequencies. So very easy to do it. Alright? So I want you to answer this applying the coded formula. Okay, applying the coded formula, Classmark formula. This example na itong problem na ito, the distribution of the test score. I think I have already given this as your activity, so I think no need to work on it. We have also the following steps when we want when we prefer to use the coded deviation formula. The first step is to choose class interval to find the assumed mean. So ang ginagawa dito is we need to find the assumed mean kasi itong assumed mean na ito, this will be the value of our x sub am. And if we are choosing for the assumed mean, it's up to us, okay, kung ano yung preference natin, kung sino sa mga intervals na ito ang gusto nating i-select as the location of the assumed mean. If we prefer to select 26 to 32 as the location of our assumed mean, then the assumed mean will be the midpoint of that interval 26 to 32. Now, is it possible to choose 12 to 18 as the assumed mean? Yes, that is still possible. So the assumed mean of that 12 to 18 interval will be or using that interval will be the midpoint of this 12 and 18. Now, is it also possible to have 54 to 60 as the assumed mean, as the location of the assumed mean? Yes, that's still possible. So it's up to us. Then the next step is to construct the column of the deviation, and that is now the D. So ang gagawin natin dyan, we will set 0 as put 0 in the deviation for the assumed mean. Okay, then for the class interval larger than the class interval contains the assumed mean, the deviation will be 1, 2, 3, and so on, positive. For the deviation interval, class intervals smaller than the class interval within which contains the assumed mean, the deviation will be negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3, and so on. Alright, and that will be the process as to how to identify values of this coded variables in the coded formula. But don't forget to multiply FD, the frequency, and the deviation. Then later on you get the sum. Okay? Kasi yun yung sum ng products of the frequency and deviation is needed in our formula, and that is the numerator. The numerator in the formula, summation of FD over N. So yun yung value natin ng numerator ng summation of FD, which is the sum of the product of the frequencies and the deviation. Alright? So ang gagawin nyo, anyway, tapos na yan, we will also talk about the characteristics of the mean. So take note, guys, that the most if we are computing for the mean, we need to note the following. Most appropriate, it is the most appropriate measure of central tendency, particularly for interval scale of measurement and the ratio scale of measurement. It lies between largest and smallest values of measurement. There is only one value. Take note, there is only one value for a given set of measurement. And lastly, the mean is easily affected by extreme values because all values contribute to the average. Alright, so tapos na yan. So take note about these characteristics. These are important characteristics about the first tool of the central tendency, which is the mean. So before I'll end this video, I'll just give some instructions. So please wait for another video, alright, another video clip presentation, recorded video clip presentation for our next topic, which is our media. So may I now end this video presentation. So thank you once again for watching my videos. Thank you, people. Thank you, guys.